Which quarterback has the most to prove at the NFL Combine? Josh Rosen, 6%. Baker Mayfield, 12%. Sam Darnold, 16%. Josh Allen, 27%. Lamar Jackson, 39%.
How about them apples? Todd McShay from the worldwide leader in sports, college football analyst, NFL draft analyst, joins us here on the show. What would you say to that answer to that question, Todd?
I think the fans were pretty close. I think with Lamar, you look at the delivery and the mechanics, and you want to see improvement. You want to see, not to get too technical, he's kind of a narrow-based thrower who kind of comes up over the top and can fix that. It's not like changing a quarterback's complete delivery, but I think with a little bit of work, he can become more accurate, and that's what you want to see there. I think behind the scenes, Josh Rosen probably has the most work to do. And it's not, these are just 15-minute interviews with NFL teams, and certainly they have their coordinators and all the key people in there and psychologists in there. But if the teams that are seriously considered drafting him will obviously be at his pro day, but then we'll go down and bring the decision makers to him and spend a day with him throwing and working through some stuff physically on the field, and then they'll fly him into their facility. And my guess is he's going to have a very busy April, traveling around the country, going to different teams and spending the day with people and having coaches try to get to know him and psychologists spending more time with him and trying to figure out, the questions that we've talked about over and over again with Rosen. Does he need the game? Does he love the game? Is he coachable? And figuring out if they have the right people in place, too, that he will respect. Because he's always going to ask why. If you tell him to do something, he's going to say why. And it comes off as not being coachable sometimes. But I think he wants to know that if he's doing something, that there's a reason for it. And you have to have someone in place who's capable of dealing with that.
Yeah, but I guess the letter would be W, right? The kid can win when it all comes down to it, one would think. How much of what happened at UCLA is being placed on his shoulders, though, Todd?
I think ultimately, in talking to people from there and then talking to scouts who have talked to more people, ultimately it turned into a situation where he wasn't always the best teammate and questioned authority and wasn't always the most coachable. But I also think he was carrying an entire program, a program that had a lot of injuries for whatever reason, a program where he had 3 different coordinators in 3 different years, and the talent around him was not nearly as good as some of the other places in the Pac-12. So I think, when you look at his production and what he was able to do, 17-13 as a starter, he played so much better than a guy who was almost 50% in terms of wins and losses. 61% of his attempts were completed. He probably was closer to 70% when you go back and look at the drops and guys not getting open and doing what they had to do. And listen, there is no one in this draft that I would rather go play a game tomorrow with and believe we could win in the NFL than Rosen. He is the most NFL-ready, polished, pure passer of the group. But you got to know what you're getting long-term, and if this is a guy that's going to become a Jay Cutler for you, or is he someone that you can manage a little bit better?
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.